So once I realized that my cheap Amazon scan tool couldn't get me any farther in diagnosing my problem, I had to decide between buying an OBDeleven or a Rostec VCDS. And if you're looking for the quickest explanation, if you have a Mark IV or even a Mark V, get the OBDeleven, the cheapest one, no plan, no subscription, no credits, and you'll be fine with that. But if you have a Mark 6, 7, 8, I don't even know what they're on these days because I'm not interested in new VWs. But you're going to want to get the Rostec VCDS because OBDeleven is going to hit you with all the microtransactions for resetting service lights and all kinds of stuff that we don't have on this car. So my cheap $17 scan tool has worked really good for me because I have a Mark IV and it fixes most of my Mark IV problems like the ignition coils and camshaft position sensors, mass airflow sensors and stuff like that. But if you have one of the newer cars, that might be completely useless to you. You should probably avoid that altogether. So I narrowed it down between OBDeleven and Rostec. And it's a little confusing because OBDeleven tries to sell you subscriptions and credits for in-app purchases, but Rostec limits your VIN numbers. Where my old Rostec cable had unlimited VIN numbers, now they want to limit it to 3 or 10, or a more expensive version you can get unlimited. I saw some people where they change settings, and then if they're selling the car or have to pass inspection, they have to change the settings back, and OBDeleven is going to charge you again to change the settings back. So one good thing about Rostec is they mind their business. So if you buy the cable and plug it into your car and then plug it into your laptop, you don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi or anything like that. It's just between you, the car, and the laptop. But with OBDeleven, you have to have your location on your phone, your Bluetooth on, sign up with your email address. So now VW is getting every scan with your location, your scan results, your mileage, your VIN number. So because you have to use your location and stuff on your cell phone, OBDeleven could use that to shut off your device if they don't like you. And you may be thinking, Josh, that's crazy. OBDeleven's not just going to shut off your device. But they shut off all the OBDelevens in Russia due to the war in Ukraine. So on the OBDeleven page, if you're trying to figure out what features will work in your country, just scroll down to the bottom and that's where you can see that nothing works in Russia. I don't think Russia's invading Ukraine in a bunch of Audis and VWs. They'd be a lot cooler if they were, but you're just affecting a lot of innocent Russians who bought this tool from you and they're just trying to scan their own personal cars and now they can't. So there could be a situation where maybe there's new taxes on stuff coming out of Lithuania. Would they shut off all the devices already here in America like they did in Russia? Maybe. So this is what you're going to get in your package. Just a cheap little pamphlet that doesn't tell you anything except to download the user manual. It's got one of those scan codes. A little key ring and the scan tool. So I don't know if I have to do this email and password sign up yet, because I didn't get a pro plan or any subscription options. So I'm going to keep going through it and see how much we can do without signing up. Supported vehicles, models, and features, Audi, VW, and cars we'll never have. Remember the old days when there were real clouds and they weren't all just man-made by airplanes in the shape of X's? We're up to 7 problems. Parking assistance. Shut the fuck up. Parking assistance. You waste my time with your woke bullshit. So if you go to history, and then it'll have the fault count and the control units, and the mileage is still in kilometers. I don't know why it's doing that. But there's nothing, you can't click on these, but if you go here, then it expands it. So you can see your engine active faults, and that was going to be the O2 sensor. So the brakes, and you can't click on any of this stuff, but you just go to the expand deal here. And then ABS hydraulic pump, electrical error in circuit, and then the ABS hydraulic pump faulty. So I'll have to look up these. It's the same code, I guess. So I just hit the output test. So I know on Rostec's VCDS you have to be careful because you can get into stuff where you don't know what you're doing. And I guess you can do that on here too. This is a licensed feature, can't do basic settings. I think the live data could be a fun tool to play with. I'd like to see things like if I had a stock VW airbox here, you could test the air intake temps and then compare it to a cold air intake. And you can do stuff like see what the air intake is while you're idling in traffic versus when you're traveling down the road, how much it drops and stuff like that. Is that a rare double M13 VIN code Jetta? Wonder what that means. Remember when there only used to be rainbows when it would rain and not when they were just spraying around the sun and then you get that weird circle around it with the rainbow? So the 01276 fault code will be the same, and you can look that up on Rostech's website. I'll put it in here what they suggest to do. So you can look up that same code that the OBDeleven gave you on Rostech, and that'll give you the possible causes, possible solutions. Another thing I've learned is in the comfort system, where it says active faults, do the same thing, open it up, lock unit for central locking front passenger side. Well, I've known that's always been a problem, but I didn't know it would show up in a scan tool. So if I hit the doors locked, unlocked. Oh, the rear one's not working now either. Pretty sure that has something to do with the soldering on the thing, common problem, don't care. What are the gateway fault? Don't remember what that one is. For the radio, probably because we have an aftermarket radio. We'll just go through them all. Airbag, what's the airbag fault? Supply voltage, 00532, intermittent. I haven't gotten any airbag lights on the dash. Didn't know that was a thing, don't care. I really don't care about anything as long as the car runs and drives. So the engine fault codes for the O2 sensor, P0139 and P1176. So our cheap scanner picks up those codes. It'll say manufacturer control, and then the other one's just the O2 sensor code, but not really worried about those. Once I went in and changed the settings, it became a lot better to use, because a lot of this stuff from the factory was hidden, so when I hooked it up to my car, it wasn't showing voltage or a lot of stuff really. So now that I've scanned my car twice, go to history, and you'll have 2 full scans. So this one was yesterday, 7 faults, this one was today. I think I made the right decision in getting the really cheap OBDeleven, because I saw the fault code that I needed to see, and I spent the least amount of money possible. So I'd give the OBDeleven a 100% 5-star definitely buy this review, except they shut off all the devices in Russia, so all features, functionality, and other product specifications are subject to change without prior notice or obligation. And that kind of worries me that maybe America might do something that Lithuania doesn't like, and then next thing you know, they shut off my scan tool device. Please don't.